Why are you up?
Because I got some important shit going on here. What do you think?
Boom, the world class.
And you know what's crazy? I didn't know it was coming up, but my reaction to that got that nigga in his
position of what I would do with my daughter, because that's a kind of a personal situation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a personal situation, because that way then you say, oh, are you telling this guy not marry your daughter and to cheat on your no, because my daughter, same way as I wouldn't date my daughter, but I could date people in that.
Like one of the things I'm obsessed with, and Dr. Peterson talks about this, so that's the best advice. Though, to your opinion, like when I would watch Kevin Samuels and God Rest the Dead, and it was so powerful because he would always push women to being married because he knew the beauty and the value and the protection and the safety, like being a woman and being married. Nobody wants their daughter to be 41 years old, single, baby mama of 3. Nobody wants that for their daughter, especially if they want kids. So to me, I think the part of the conversation needs to be: is this information benefiting both human beings? When you're on Team Men, it only needs to benefit Team Men. If you're on Team Republican, it only needs to benefit Team Republican. If you're on Team America, it has to benefit all Americans. If you're on Team Human, it has to benefit both males and females. So that's why I loved her questions, because I think the best, like, I can give my hardcore advice to benefit men, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, the most hardcore advice that benefits men simultaneously.
Huh?
Sorry about that.
This nigga said without a shadow of a dyke. I heard it.
Yeah. He's totally outclassed. You guys realize that he's an actor. Somebody put him in this position, taught him the talking points, and then he just puts out word salad for everybody. He has no points. I don't even know why we're even talking about this guy anymore. He's boring. I'm boring, but at least I have something to add. He has nothing to add. Nothing.
We added without a shadow of a dyke. That's new.
One more thing I'll add to that now.
He got something to add to his wife's bank account when they get divorced.
Bang, 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 bang.
Boom, the world class.
Had to bring that's a real one.
I don't mean to offend you. There's no God in marriage in the United States. So that's kind of misleading. And people will find that out if your marriage is destroyed. You go back to your pastor and you say, hey, my marriage is being destroyed. He has no power over that because it is a state agreement. So I will bring you back to make sure you understand, and I counsel men, there's no God in marriage. That's been gone. Listen, it was an old idea. It's absolutely gone unless you live in an American South. So most people on the West Coast, many people in the East, Midwest, there's no God in marriage. So
we break that down. What do you mean there's no God in marriage?
There's no God in marriage. So people get married. One of the things that they will do is they will seek counsel of the church. And then as such, the guys will give them guidance and it will be biblical principle. However, they will say we can't do anything until you sign this state-sponsored agreement with family law context. All right. They're not going to have a Bible in there. They're not going to have a Bible in that divorce court. The judge is not going to ask you, do you like God? And what about God in your marriage? There will be no context to that. And such, what is the overriding principle here?
Does he
your
have a
marriage
point there,
is state funded,
no,
not God
like,
funded.
He just made a random point that
I didn't make it random. I told you that this will offend
first,
you,
and
it's now offended you.
What did I say? No, it didn't offend me. You're just wrong. Let me say what
I'm wrong. Wait.
Let me finish.
I'm absolutely right.
Let me finish.
There's no God in the marriage in the United States.
Let me finish, then you can talk. Let me finish.
No, hold for a second.
Let me finish.
Are you going to say there's no God in marriage in the United States?
Coach, finish your point. You're saying there's no God in marriage in the United States.
Correct.
Got it.
That was his point. So I can now I'm going to talk. So I made a point, and I said,
was he trying to convince himself or cue himself that it's his time? Now I'm going to talk. What was your point? Okay, let's go.
That if your truth aligns with God, that truth is most powerful. That's what I said. If your truth aligns with God, meaning the word that you speak aligns with God, those words are the most powerful. Then he made a point saying there is no God in marriage. So first, that's a semantic thing because God is everywhere. Whether God chooses to supervene in things or not, I will never be the person that says God is not here. I will never be the person that says God is not present here. Could we argue that is God blessing every American Western marriage?
I can't. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. This is so dumb. He said it. Coach Greg said it.
¿Por qué quieres estar aquí conmigo en un minuto?
Mute up, Professor.
Okay. God. Okay, let's talk about Sky Daddy, and then there's the spirit of the universe or whatever it is that you guys are going after that you believe in. Okay. I've had some real revelations lately. Truth is what it is. Truth is important, and so is authenticity. The guy has no authenticity. He has no business on the camera. He is an actor. This has to be a CIA setup. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be he's like a bad actor. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think they would let him on set, especially not with that shirt.
And I was going to say that's I was going to say that's actually a knock from the CIA because they're way better than this.
Not lately. This suck over here. I'm down in Mexico, and you know who they are because they are all in a company. Every single company that's a corporation has a CIA agent. Every single company in the world. Even here in Mexico, we have CIA agents that work in places that are not. Okay, I was in a command position. I'm just going to give you guys a little background. I was in the military for 23 years, and we suddenly had lieutenant colonels popping up that had no history at all. And I come to discover who they were. Fucking these CIA agents that they planted. And they were terrible at their job. They didn't know anything about their job. They didn't know how to write. They didn't know how to address people. They didn't know how to do anything that officers do. So I fortunately was told the truth by a 4-star general that our votes are useless and all this is a setup. So I'm for God because evil is real and the fucking people that are in charge are evil. They're fucking evil. They did everything to divide us, to not be friends. I even have people now. You got guys even commenting in your comments saying that white people are invading your space, manosphere space. You know what I mean? I don't mind. You know what I mean? I know people are still stuck in the matrix and they don't like people that look like me just because they don't or they've been treated badly in the past. This guy here is a fucking agent. He's a plant. And you know what? We should fuck him up. You know what I mean? Get him out of here because he's not helping anybody. And he's arguing with Coach Greg. Get the fuck out of here. What is that shit?
Oh, well, as far as fucking him up goes, Coach Greg Adams already did that. This is abusive. And
look at his face. He looked like he's crying.
He looked like he lost a fight a week ago. and he
got his ass beat by Pearl. He had his ass handed to him.
He lost
by a fucking girl.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if you've seen that World Class.
Yeah, I ain't seen that. I do that one.
The lead attorney went over it, and yeah, he got smoked.
Yeah, I'll do that one next. But I've been looking at. I seen this part that we're at, and I was like, well, let me see what led up to it. And somehow when I came back, I had just quoted and I clipped it. I knew I had found it, and then I was like, let me just go to the beginning and record it. But this is kind of the part I wanted to see and get to. And this is profoundly bad. And Coach Greg Adams dog walked the shit out this nigga. And I agree, he is an agent, but I spoke to that earlier. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to mention them people because they already know what it is.
Y'all write that in the chat.
Of course.
Coach Greg dog walked this motherfucker.
That shit was easy.
Of course, God is not blessing every American, but God is definitely in my parents' marriage. So when you say there is absolute statements, of course, God is not blessing every American, but God is definitely in my parents'
You got playback.
When you say there is,
Mr. Okay, yeah. If God wants everybody to be married, you got to make this make sense to me. Why the fuck wouldn't he bless every marriage? Why would he pick and choose which marriage he's going to bless? That sounds, and that's that blind faith shit that I be talking about. You literally say shit that makes absolutely no fucking sense, but just because you believe it, it makes sense. If my book says you're supposed to get married and I follow that, you don't bless my marriage? Well, nigga, fuck you then. Like, what the fuck?
It got selective, right?
Bang,
It
bang,
created you to
bang,
love you, and then it selectively says you're worth it, right?
But what did I say earlier? That's what I said. And I probably need to do a whole stream on this. People are mad with religion for what church service created. Church service created that problem. A Bible, a Quran never got off the table and kicked you in the knee. Ever. It's never done anything to you. But it's people like this who don't know what they're talking about. The only person, there is nobody on this internet space in my class, the only person qualified to tell you about religion is going to tell you about etymology, parsing, and syntax, translation and transliteration, because the Bible was not written in English. So it had to be translated. And it had to be transliterated because of how old it is. The Bible, the Quran, let's just take the Bible. The Bible is just Google 2,000 years ago. It is just information that they knew. And there was no separation because church and this bullshit system has made money off of it and they got this new way of making money off of it. It has skewed our viewpoint on what religion really was. Religion was no different from getting information from your OG. All the Bible is Google 2,000 years ago. That's it. Religion was never separate from science, ever. Until now, because of stupid people like him who want to make money off of people's ignorance. I can go through a Bible, and eventually I'm going to do this with my sister Kay. I'm going to go through a Bible and give you the real verses with the actual King James Version and give you the real words. The Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Talmud is like the NFL, NHL, MLB. You got to have a certain skill set and conditioning before you pick it up. This shit is just pulpit pimping. Right? The word church, right? The word church is a German for circle. Then when you go in there, everything's shaped like a square. And people don't think about stuff like this. The first two real words in the Bible is in principle. In the first two words in Genesis 1 verse 1 is in the beginning. You translate that into Latin, is in principio. Principio is in the same family of words as principles. Pri means first.
You going into etymology, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to say that. No, you stole my point.
Hell yeah, I'm loving what I'm hearing.
But this is the true association to real religion, not this bullshit. Again, I already acknowledged earlier he's doing that rah-rah self-development stuff. But we're not. This is we're talking. The problem we have with marriage is a legal one. It's not the free enterprise system where it's really on you when you don't get up early in the morning. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how early you get up in the morning if this chick is going to keep you from your child and the state is going to help. It don't matter how hard you work. It don't matter how much you sell. In fact, you better off doing the opposite. Not selling, hiding your money. You got to act like you were a criminal because she got an attitude and she thinks she can get something from you for nothing. And that's a problem.
And like I said earlier, the moment that you care about her leaving is the moment you lose her. And it shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is.
That's how it's set up.
That's the jerk. That's the ball game.
Yep. That's the problem, bro. So it's just this kid. I kind of like this kid. I want to. But we got Mr. OK. Let's talk about it. What's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. I appreciate you for allowing me on the live. I didn't get a chance to join your other live because my computer was messing up, but I had to catch this one, dog. I didn't actually get to see Hafeez versus Coach Greg Adams in its entirety. So this is going to be a great experience for me, man.
Yeah, we got it's not that much left. We kind of broke that shit down up to this point. It's been, we in 3 hours now. This is about an hour and some change. I think we are at literally an hour and 15 of this. The link to this live is in the description, along with the channel, along with Coach Greg Adams' channel.
I will be watching the playback. I will be watching.
Let me give you a brief synopsis. It was like the 2016 Warriors versus a high school team.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
JV
at that.
He did. Hafeez did get body bagged by what's it, Pearly things? Just Pearly. Like she had a back and forth with him, and she kind of cooked his ass. So I'm pretty sure Coach cooked him as well.
Yeah, I got an idea how I want to break that down because there's a girl involved. I might break that down with Savannah.
He was.
You mean it seems like it's two girls involved in that one.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. All right, let's we already at the juicy part. I've been waiting all day for, and he and his feelings about religion because it's hitting his pockets.
There is no God in marriage. False. Correct. There is no God in some marriages. There is no God in most marriages in regards to by
say false, then say correct. I'm confused, nigga. Which one?
It's all false because that's not what Coach Greg Adams said. He said there's no God in marriages and in the American contract, American marriage contract.
Absolutely.
That's what he said. So he's I can't stand this irritates the shit out of me. You make up a fake point and then you argue the fuck out of it. It has nothing to do with what the fuck I said.
Being there no God mean that God's not blessing it, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're saying that God is not blessing what's happening in most marriages, that is a true statement. But to say there is no God in marriages, period, that is a false statement because God is
but it's not a statement he made though.
In my marriage, and God is also in my parents' marriage. And I will continue to say, when it comes to even understanding the ideas of God, God gives human beings free will. It's a very simple concept. You can freely sin or you can freely obey. And God, like a good father, if you want to touch the stove, you can touch the stove. And so to me, I just think when people make statements like this.
What?
What's wrong?
No. What do you? I'd never let my son touch the stove because he wanted to. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, you know what? He don't have no children.
I kicked my daughter out the goddamn kitchen. Matter of fact, I just did when I was cooking breakfast. Like the fuck, that's weird.
His dad let him touch the stove. That's what it is. Type a 1 in the chat if you think Hafeez's dad let him touch the stove. That's what I think that is. Because that doesn't make any sense at all.
Because as a parent, you know you're gonna deal with that blister afterwards.
Look at all the veins popping out of his neck. Probably how he was looking.
My sister lost out on the stove when she was a kid. She has a round coil shit on her ass, branded herself.
Yeah, that shit. But as a parent, you know the consequences of that. So the point he's trying to make is not being a parent is, oh yeah, you got to let them, make that mistake. The problem is when they make that mistake as a parent, you got to deal with the consequences. So as a parent, you ain't trying to deal with the consequences. So stop. But he's definitely in his pussy bag right now.
It's a perfect way to explain that. Right. He in his pussy bag right now, jingling around, ass pussy.
How do you expect people to feel? There is no God.
Anybody to feel. I want them to know. I want them to understand.
Hey,
we can't feel anything.
I'm talking.
What did we always just mean to say? How do you expect people to feel?
You sound like a modern woman.
Hey, that's why I said it's gonna be 2 women on that panel, not one. Just Pearly Things versus another bitch.
Right.
God is not here. I will never be the person that, and I will continue to say, when it comes to yourself 100% from business failure, from friendship failure, from anything in life, but there is wisdom, there is godly principles that you can adhere to that can benefit you, but there's no absolute guarantees that everything in life will be successful. No one's teaching anybody that.
But and I'm not the most religious person here.
And I will continue to say, when I'm talking, and then you get an opportunity to talk. So, of course,
that right there.
Make statements like this.
That boy was sassy.
Yeah, that's what we.
Well,
he understands
it when he'll understand it when other people talk. That's what's interesting.
Like you should be doing the finger point just like a female too.
Facts.
no God in some marriages. There is no God in most marriages in regards to by being there no God, meaning that God's not blessing it, right? So if you're saying that God is not blessing what's happening in most marriages, that is a true statement. But to say there is no God in marriages, period, that is a false statement, because God is in my marriage and God is also in my parents' marriage. And I will continue to say, when it comes to even understanding the ideas of God, God gives human beings free will. It's a very simple concept. You can freely sin or you can freely obey. And God, like a good father, if you want to touch the stove, you can touch the stove. And so to me, I just think when people make statements like this, how do you expect people to feel? There is no
don't expect
God.
Anybody to feel. I want them to know. I want them to understand. We want them to know. We can't feel anything.
I'm talking, and then you get the opportunity to talk. So to me, it's how do you expect people to react? And so my biggest thing is that what I'm only communicating in regards to the.
He changed the word from feel to react. You lost, nigga. You lost. And my question is, the couple of times that your wife let you touch her, is God there? Is he there too? You hold your balls while you going in? Like, what are you talking about?
Shit like that.
Woo,
marriages is that if you are a man, do your due diligence. Be able to see if she fits your...
Wait, do you do what? You're not supposed to say that word on this platform no more. Do you hold on? What you say?
I'm talking, and then you get the opportunity to talk. So to me, it's how do you expect people to react? And so my biggest thing is that what I'm only communicating in regards to the marriages is that if you are a man, do your due diligence.
Due diligence. Okay.
Be able to see if she fits your life. Be able to see what is her family background. You can't protect yourself 100% from business failure, from friendship failure, from anything in life. But there is wisdom, there is godly principles that you can adhere to that can benefit you. But there's no absolute guarantees that everything in life will be successful. No one's teaching anybody that.
But and I'm not the most religious person here, so let me just give that disclaimer out there. You either,
right?
But
Yeah.
How I feel like God is all faith. It's all, I believe in this, and no matter what you tell me, you're not going to convince me otherwise, because this is what I believe. I'm sure that there's tons of marriages out there that they believe, they go to church every Sunday, and then next thing you know, they get divorced, and God was in their marriage. So I'm just trying to establish what a godless marriage is, or God-filled marriage is, like how that genuinely curiosity, like how that works, because he's saying no. I think what Coach is basically saying is like, look, I don't care if you go to church every Sunday or not. At the end of the day, your marriage is between you, your significant other, and the state.
Right here on earth.
Forget about it.
Not in the clouds. And
that's essentially what he's saying.
Did you ask him a question, or
no? I'm just bringing this out to the panel.
What we tell people is that hope is not a strategy. All right, hope is not a strategy in anything. I hope my business goes well. I hope I don't get injured today. I hope I succeed today. We tell people real life principles. All right, we don't live in the clouds. We live here on earth, whether you believe this is heaven or hell. So I want you guys to understand you're dealing with earth here. This is a reality.
Are you a believer?
Absolutely not.
You're not a believer of God.
No.
Okay, but obviously, Hafeez, you are.
Yeah, and
were
so
you ever a believer? So how can you say
that? Here's the deal. What tends to happen is people are introduced to things based on someone else's biases. Okay, and those biases are introduced to children and so forth. So yes, at some point, that was the only story I knew until I investigated on my own, decided as a man what principles to stand on, and then realized I don't live by hope. I don't live by cope. I live with what's real here. Okay. And let's talk about what's real instead of the mystique of this damn thing here. What's real is hope is not a strategy.
So if you don't, I love it. Can I address it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So first and foremost, like I said, it's very interesting. I've always told you got to hear someone's background, and then you know where they lean. That's where you know where their advice gears towards. So it's such a even when I talk about God. Like the idea of God in his brain is not the idea I'm talking about. It's this interesting verse in the Bible. I won't get too lost in the sauce in the book of Isaiah where God is somebody's like farming, and he's talking about the intricacies of farming. And he says, even that wisdom comes from God. God is not the God of get married happily ever after. That's foolishness. God gives you wisdom. What is the wisdom? actually do premarital counseling. What is the wisdom? Actually be able to decide, okay, if things don't work out, what are we going to do? Where are the kids going to go? What's the money going to go? Things going to work out. Who's going to be the primary breadwinner? Who's not? God gives you the wisdom to be intelligent, to be able to navigate. Hope.
Wait. I've never seen ever in the Bible where they broke down how to deal with a divorce. In fact, I thought the motherfucker said you weren't supposed to get divorced, but I could be wrong.
I was wondering why he kept looking to his right, and that's why he was looking at the white bitch. I get it. I see what's going on here, and you're correct. It don't tell you to go to counseling. That's not what it says. That he talking about marriage counseling, usually regular counsel. All right, this is stress. This is irritating me. Let's finish this stupid shit. It ain't that much left.
Is not a strategy. 100% right. Hope is not a strategy. But God's...
Why are you talking so hard? Relax.
Message is not just simply blind hope. It's wisdom. Literally, Jesus said, be as wise as a serpent, but as innocent as a dove. You have to understand how to... What does a serpent do? He's able to navigate on...
What's the serpent?
On this earth. So 100% right. No one's teaching hope as a strategy. That's a straw man argument. True godly wisdom is relevant. True godly wisdom is what made Adam a millionaire. True godly wisdom is what made Patrick Bet David build this amazing company.
You mean the guy that just said he's not religious? That a bitch.
Okay. And what
he just
made
contradicted
all
himself.
of these atheists that are millionaires then?
Bang, 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 bang.
Dom the Monko. Dom the Monko.
Shit like that.
Hey, ain't this coming from the guy that said he don't care that much about money?
Bang, 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 bang.
And when Hafeez started talking, I just started doing the Running Man in my head because, yeah.
This is
bang,
when did Adam?
Bang.
When did Adam become a millionaire? By the way,
the guy that's what's the name? The guy.
Oh, I thought he was referring.
Yeah,
to
me too.
I did for a quick second. I remember.
Yeah, for me, no, I will admit. Yeah, for a second, I'm like, yeah, okay, what the fuck is he talking? Okay,
but even and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong because I ain't no master of the Bible. But the Bible don't necessarily speak to well-known motherfuckers with extremes amount of money. So
it doesn't.
That's what's hilarious to me about this Americanized version of the Bible, as if like he wants you to be in that 17-bedroom house.
Right.
Because if that was the case, Jesus would have been walking around this motherfucker, with that. He was actually humble and walked amongst, the regular people, not amongst the rich. And I can't remember the one verse about the eye of the needle, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
I promise you literally stole it out of my mind. Told me
I don't know the verse, so you can kick it for me.
No, the thing is, bro, like he sounds.
How much easier it is for a camel to go to the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. And the reason was because love of money was the one thing that kept him out of heaven. That's the verse.
So what he's talking about is just contradictory to what the fuck he's saying that God wants for people.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He literally, it sounds to me, this is what my perspective is. He met a girl that was in church with him. He got saved. He had a spiritual awakening. He got all excited. Now he's on fire for Jesus. I know, how many of you guys know people that are on fire for Jesus that are new believers? Put a 1 in the chat. I'm just curious how many people know.
Trust me, Professor. We all know this guy.
People crazy because, look, people get crazy. They get crazy because, look, I lived a degenerate lifestyle as a bodybuilder, period. I cannot express to you. It's just like being a bikini model as a woman. When you're a bodybuilder on world class, you get to do all this degenerate shit. It's like being a rapper, a rock star. This guy probably married a 304 that got her life cleaned up. We don't know. She's probably from Africa, from Kenya, or wherever he's from. And they get all excited for Jesus because they want to they want to become a born-again virgin. They get born again to forget all the wildness that they did in the past. And this guy probably married one of those girls that was hitting the wall at 30. She's probably like 29 or 28. And what happens to a lot of women is at the end of their hoe phase, they go to church and they become a born again vagina. What do you guys think?
No, you hit it right on the head. And looking at him, I can pretty much tell he wasn't too much of a ladies' man. So she probably looks better than the average chick that he can snag, and he's just pussy with.
Right, and based off what I've seen from Hafeez, he's successful. He's getting a little bit of money, so he looked like one of these lames that was lame back then, wasn't getting no females. But now that he hits money, he's one of these high value men who make it seem like you're supposed to be on your fucking purpose. That's how you get women, but really, like, they don't really be getting the best quality women. They just settle for bullcrap, like our professor was saying.
Yeah. All right, let's close this out. It's almost done.
It's actual practical step-by-step guidance that benefits people's lives. So no one's talking about hope being a strategy. Simply pray to God and your marriage is going to work out. That's foolishness. What did I say? Naivete, nihilism, realism is in the middle. No one's saying being naive. So when I'm talking about godliness in marriage, those are certain principles and wisdoms. Is it going to be that if you follow God, you'll never get a divorce? No. There's nothing in life where nothing bad is gonna happen. You can do everything the right way and the wrong thing can still happen. But does that mean you should do things the wrong way? Absolutely not. And so my biggest thing is that we need to give men as much practical wisdom, and women as well, give them as much practical wisdom that can build a healthy, successful marriage. When he talks about don't get married without leverage, I guarantee if he expounds upon leverage, those are all godly principles. Those are all biblical principles that what he's going to describe in what he defines as leverage, being masculine, you know what I mean, protecting your assets, all the things he would describe as leverage, that is godly wisdom. He may not view it as godly because his view of God is just some old white man in the clouds telling you to simply just do whatever you want, right? But to me, true godly wisdom is relevant, it's practical, it improves lives because like Jordan Peterson said, it's in line with the truth. And if you're in line with the truth, they can give you the best case scenario, not a perfect life, but the best life.
You should have been a preacher, brother. You could have killed that.
Yeah, that's it. Because it was, yeah, that's it. I was gonna say that, but yes, I'm good. That's everything.
He's a Jordan Peterson crony, so it all makes sense.
All right. I'm sorry, I got lost in a train of thought of just all that goodness I just heard. Washed.
They would be fools to resist my divine power.
His death was a necessary loss. Soon I will have a new apprentice, one far younger and more powerful.
Remember, when a king is loved as I am, much can be accomplished.
We didn't do this because we like you. We did this because we are you.
Boom, the world class.